Hello. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, but I didn't bring my camera with me when I went to college, so I didn't have anything to film it on, and I tried to use my computer's camera and actually filmed a couple of videos, but the sound was horrible, and I don't have any software or anything that can fix the sound if there was a way to fix it. So I kind of just scrapped it because I've been so busy, so I was like, there's no point of editing a video and posting something that isn't good, and I was really busy anyway, so I just kind of let it fall to the wayside, and I wasn't sure if I was even going to continue making YouTube videos. But a lot has happened, and I have a lot of free time, so now I'm thinking I'm going to get back into it. I can't promise any proper upload schedule because everything is crazy and random, but hopefully I can make some videos here and there. But as a quick update, I came into college in 2018-2019 school year. I was a bioengineering major. Now I'm an English major. That's a long story that I would get into in a different video where I do a full update that's probably going to be uploaded either right before or right after this video. But I'd rather film a TBR for March, and I was kind of late considering it's the 19th, but I've already started all of these books, so it's kind of not so much of a TBR as it is a currently reading. But I'm not reading a lot of books. I don't know if I'll even finish all of these in March because I just don't read as fast as I used to, especially now that I annotate as I read, to practice more active reading to really get more from the book. So sometimes that takes a long time, especially if there's a lot on the page I want to make note of. The first book is It by Stephen King. It's actually one of the only ones I'm not annotating because I'm also listening to the book on Audible, so I'd just rather listen than read it because it's really tiny letters, and even with my glasses that can get hard to read. I'm sure we all know what it is about because they made an older movie of it, and then they made the remake and the second part of the remake. But so I don't think I need much explanation for what it's about. It's a horror novel that is about a clown that terrorizes his neighborhood. In the first part you see it as kids, and then it's years later where they come back as adults to help the town they came from because it is back. There's a lot to it, and I actually don't really know the full story because I've never seen any of the movies, so I'm trying to go into the book as blind as I can so I don't get anything spoiled, but that's about as much as I know about the book. I'm also reading The Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. I love Matthew Quick because he wrote Every Exquisite Thing, which was the first and only book I've read by him until now. And I love that book so much. I read it sophomore year of high school, and it really changed my whole perspective of how I made decisions and everything. And I can do a full book review on that another time because I love it. And I was actually trying to reread it so I can annotate it because when I read it in high school, it was a library book, so I couldn't write in it or anything or keep sticky notes in it. And I didn't even really annotate my books back then, but now I want to reread it and annotate everything and see how it's changed now that I'm older. But this book was also turned into a movie, which I've never seen. And again, I like to go into things blindly, but I'll read the back of the book, and it says, Pat Peoples knows that life doesn't always go according to plan, but he's determined to get his back on track. After a stint in a psychiatric hospital, Pat is staying with his parents and trying to live according to his new philosophy. Get fit, be nice, and always look for the silver lining. Most importantly, Pat is determined to be reconciled with his wife, Nikki. Pat's parents just want to protect him so he can get back on his feet, but when Pat befriends the mysterious Tiffany, the secrets they've been keeping from him threatened to come out. I think that sounds very interesting, and since I've already read one book by Matthew Quick, I have high hopes for this. You can see I already started reading a little bit of it and annotating it. It's not a very long book. It's 289 pages, so definitely something you could like finish in a week if you have the time. Maybe longer when you're annotating it. I don't know, because I mainly only read when I'm at work, because I have like a desk job where most of the time I'm just sitting there, so I have time just to read my books until anybody needs help. So that's what I kind of use as reading time. And when I'm walking to work, I usually listen to Audible. That's why I can't like annotate while I'm listening to the book. But I still own the book because I bought the book, that physical book of it, before buying it on Audible. So now I have 2 copies, but with Audible you can like return books. So I was like, I can just return it, get a credit, and then get another book whenever I finish it, because I actually own the physical copy, so I don't need the Audible copy as well. But right now my Audible, I suspended it because I just don't make enough money to keep it, and I feel like I'm just starting to hoard audiobooks since like I do real books, so that's not really helping. So I'm supposed to start again in April, but I might permanently suspend it. I just did like a 3-month suspension, but I might permanently suspend it longer, just like drop my account totally until I start reading more audiobooks. Like I've read a couple, and I can do that in another video, all the audiobooks I've read, or all the books I've read this year so far. I'll probably do like that in June or something, so I can be like a halfway through the year reading haul or something. Or maybe even a reading haul of all the books I read last year, because I didn't do that. But the next book I'm reading is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and I've made it a little bit farther in this book. As you can tell, I wasn't even sure if I was going to annotate this book, since it is like action adventure. It's like, yeah, there's always stuff you can learn from all books, and there's a lot to be said and a lot of foreshadowing and character development and guesses I have. But I'm like, do I really need to know every point where he foreshadowed something, or every thought I had while reading this book? But as you can tell, all the different color tabs mean a different thing. Like, it's hard to explain because it's almost kind of random, but the pink tabs are lines that I think are really good, like a really good quote or something that I want to remember. Blue means words that I had to look up or get any type of clarification on. Because some words, it's not that, like, you ever have a word where it's not that you don't know what it means? Like, you can use it in a sentence, but you don't know the exact definition. So I also mark those with blue tabs. So it's words I totally don't know, and like words I kind of know, but maybe not know the exact definition. Orange is kind of like my questions or guesses on the book, which kind of also marks where there would be like foreshadowing. So it kind of be like, oh, I think this is going to happen, but I'm not sure, or I wonder why the author wrote this or whatever. I do is orange tabs, and yellow is kind of just like any type of other observation I make. It's hard to kind of explain. Like, I know what it means, but it's kind of just, if I notice something, it's not necessarily like a quote I would remember or a question I have. It's just like, oh, I noticed he made the character, describe the character indirectly or whatever. I do that. Then I also put like bigger sticky notes in the book at some places where I have a lot to say, a lot about observations. And sometimes there's sticky notes like actually in the page that don't stick out. I only do that if I already have some sticky notes sticking out on that page, like there's other ones, so I can still find the page. And I just want it to point to a specific word, and not necessarily mark a whole paragraph. But I'm on chapter 37, which is page 183. And I'm using the metal bookmark I got from a past book box. I don't even remember which one it was. I don't get book boxes every month. I just buy them one off when it's something that I know I would read and enjoy and like. Like I read a lot of books, but like I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a book box or a book box subscription when like every month I don't really know how much I'll know all the merch that comes with the book. So like I don't want to get it and then like not like the book or not like the merch or not know where it's from, and I just don't have the money for that. But I would like to someday have a book box subscription. But yeah, I didn't even say what the fifth wave was about because it's so old. I just assume everybody has heard of it, knows it. I bought this book on Thrift Books. This came from a library. Fletcher Library. I don't even know where that is. But Thrift Books is a good site to buy books from. If you've never seen any of my videos, that's where I get most of my books from because they're so cheap. And when you buy books, you earn points, and when you make it to 50 points, you get a free book. So it really works out. I actually recently got this from Thrift Books, like the last book I bought, along with another book that I'll probably show in a different video when I do like a book haul. Probably same around June. I might do like I don't know. I'm probably not gonna buy that many books, so maybe after this I'll shoot like a book haul so far this year, and then probably do another video about all of the books I've read last year. But the fifth wave is about a apocalyptic world where aliens have invaded Earth. So you get the story through multiple points of views and flashbacks. So it will start kind of in medias res, I believe, and then it would flash back to something that happened previously to give you background information, and then go back to the present, which I think is really interesting. And I love the way it's written. It's not confusing. I mean, it can actually get confusing at parts because at first it was kind of confusing because I didn't understand when they were changing, but there's different parts in the book and they're marked like this. Like this was part 2, Wonderland. And I figured out that each part was told in like alternating perspectives. So the first part, we get a girl's named Cassidy's perspective, and part 2 we get a boy's named Ben's perspective, and then it will go back to like Cassidy's and like it will alternate. You also get the perspective of, I don't want to spoil anything, but of the aliens. So, but after like once you get to a part and you read like by the first page, you understand whose point of view it is, and it stops getting confusing. I'm not that far into it. I don't know if it's like rotating like Cassidy's, Ben's, and the aliens. I'm on part 4 right now, Mayfly. I really need to read this book quicker, but so I'm kind of hoping I get to finish this book this month. But yeah, so far the fifth wave is really good and I recommend it, and I'm excited to get through it. And my last book is Zeros by Scott Westerfield. I feel like I've mentioned this book before on my channel. It's a story about 6 teenage superheroes in a way, and they call themselves the Zeros. So they all possess unique powers. There's Scam, who has this voice in his head that can speak for him. The characters are Scam, Crash, Flicker, Anonymous, and Bellwether, and they all possess their own unique powers, which I'm not going to say what they are because I feel like part of the fun of reading the book was letting the book explain each power being introduced. But maybe their names can kind of give you a hint. I don't think I need to read the inside blurb. But the book is basically just about a group of teenage superheroes whose team broke up over the summer after one of the characters kind of ruined the team for everybody else. But through the story, you slowly start to find out how all of that came about, while the main plot is them rejoining together so they can help a character get out of some mobster trouble. So it's really interesting, actually pretty funny. It's kind of YA, kind of middle grade, like that gap, 14, 15, 13. On the inside cover, it says ages 14 and up. I can see like any age middle schooler reading this book. Like there's nothing crazy in here that I've come across yet. I'm over halfway through, way over halfway through, over 2/3 through. I'm almost done with the book. I have a little over 100 pages left, so I could probably finish this today if I really sit down and try, which I might. I also have a long shift on Sunday, so I'm definitely going to finish this book by like this week, and then hopefully I can like finish the 5th wave, and then Silver Linings Playbook. I haven't seen anything that I would think is inappropriate or confusing for like a middle grade audience. I don't know, maybe not elementary school just because it's long and there might be some words that they don't know the definition of. But the story is actually funny at parts. And I just love, it's Scott Westerfield, so I don't think I need to explain how good of an author he is. It's also co-written with Margot Lanagan and Deborah Bencotti. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm horrible with name pronunciations, but this book is really good, even though it's taken me so long to read it. I'm sure I've mentioned it on my channel before, saying, I'm going to read this book. I've been trying to read this book for like years now, because I like read part of it, then stop reading, then have to start over, and then like read part of it again. But this time I'm going to finish it. I'm almost done. So I don't know if you can really include it in March, since I didn't start it in March, but I'm definitely going to finish it in March. But I'm excited to finally get over and done with it. I think I got this book on thrift books as well, maybe, or definitely used. I never buy new books because it's always cheaper to get them used, and see it's kind of rough from already being worn and torn, and then plus my own wear and tear on it. But either way, it's still a good book. And as you can see, it's not annotated because I did start it a while ago, like a long time ago, and back then I wasn't annotating my books, so I just didn't want to start annotating it when I'm like halfway through. Like when I started reading it again, I was already like halfway through the book, and I was like, do I want half of it not annotated and the rest annotated? And again, it's like a adventure novel, so I'm like, how much do I have to say on this? But the 5th wave is proving to me that there can be a point in annotating like action and adventure, when I usually only annotate contemporary, because I didn't mention, because I don't know if 5th wave had any of these tabs, but when I use green tabs like relatability, and I'm like, I don't know if I can relate to superheroes a lot. Like obviously there's a point in annotating any book, because every book has information and great lines and so much, but I only have so many sticky notes, and I can't afford just to keep buying a bunch of it, because I use like a lot. Like I'm not even halfway through the book, and look how much I already annotated the 5th wave. And I have some other books I can show you. I finished Fangirl, which I will show you in my last year wrap-up, my 2019 wrap-up of books I've read, and that's totally annotated so much that I just don't have the sticky notes to continue annotating them so much. I might get like a journal or something, so I can just like write in the journal instead of marking every page. Just put like the page number by my thoughts, or like something like that, I find a better way to annotate books. But as of now, I'm not making it a priority for me to annotate every single book I read, and usually adventure books are the ones that are going to take the fall on that. I just feel like there's more I can write about like a contemporary novel than I can adventure, even though they both have so much to give us, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's kind of my reasoning behind how I choose what to annotate. But whenever I finish these books, I'll post a review of all of them. And I'm also thinking of posting reviews on a blog. Right now I just use my Tumblr, which I'll link in the description, but I might make my own like blog website, and I'm not sure yet because I already have a kind of a following on Tumblr, so I'm not trying to make money or anything off of it, so I can just use Tumblr to post my reviews where I already know people can see them. But we'll see. If I make a blog, I'll link it below. If you have any suggestions on the best way to do written book reviews, put them in the comments to help me out. So if you have any preference of where I put my written book reviews, I can accommodate that for you. And any suggestions or thoughts, or you've read the books and you have any comments on the books I have in this video, or you have book recommendations, feel free to tell me. All my social media info is in the description, and my comments are always open. So I'm excited to see what you guys have to say, and hopefully I can post more. And thank you if you're watching this, especially if you watched my previous videos and now you're watching this one 2 years later. I really appreciate that, and I really hope I can post more because I really think I'm going to have more free time. And now that I'm an English major, I'm going to be reading a lot, so I have a lot of books to talk about, and I can probably better articulate myself in reviews. Which, to clarify, I'm also going to do a video review, but I also want to do a written review where it might be a little bit different. So just tell me if you have any preferences on websites or anything like that. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.